10 o'clock, it's 61 degrees, and it's time for your hometown movie guys, Tina, Craig, and Andy, telling you everything you wanted to know about movies and ever so much more. Yeah, it's Friday morning here at the KRM Studios, and good morning to our hometown movie guys. How y'all doing?
Look, there we are.
That's right.
Hello, world.
We're online. Wow.
Hello, Nicole.
If you feel really bold today and visually, things don't disturb you too much, you might want to join us on Facebook.
Oh, what a thing to say.
Well, some people get disturbed by our manliness and womanliness and guyness and all of that stuff.
What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
Just making this stuff up as we go along. Anyway, so, and not that anything they have to say
Good morning, Craig.
really means anything. How are you doing this morning, Craig?
Doing good.
Good. How's things going at Sawmill Theaters?
Doing well.
You have a new movie starting today?
Actually, we have one start Wednesday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Clifford the Big Red Dog.
And how's Clifford been doing?
It's doing good.
Still big, still red?
Still big red. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's a live action, with the dog
Right.
being animated, of course. But yeah, it's just about a little girl who loves her puppy, and the more she loves him, the bigger he grows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great little family movie, and yeah, good stuff for the kids.
Cool. Guess that's why I've had so many chihuahuas in my age. Anyway, oh well.
We feel the love.
Yeah, really. Don't wet on the carpet. Anyway, so now,
And guess who's in it?
tell me.
Your favorite actor of all time, John Cleese.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And now for something completely different.
Uh-huh.
All right, from Monty Python, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. Now I have to go see it. Anything with John Cleese in it is worth watching.
You're not gonna
Well,
see
and
it.
just know, yes,
Sounds nice,
we
doesn't
know he won't see it. He just mouthed at that, right? John Cleese, by the way,
Mhm.
just recently canceled an engagement at Cambridge University because he said he could not speak to the woke because they have no sense of humor.
Amen.
And really, apparently somebody was doing a German accent and playing at being Hitler, and the little snowflakes had such a problem. And so he said, well, Monty Python, I played Hitler, and so I must cancel in honor of the snowflakes.
Right.
Good for him.
I always enjoyed him a lot, and I love him even more now.
Yes.
And
Humor
is
he's
just
a little bit lefty, but you know what?
so what?
He might be
Might be redeemable.
or redeeming.
Oh, I see what you did there. Good boy, English
I
teacher.
just think that we've gotten way too hung up on not offending each other, and I
You better not offend me.
humor has gone out the window.
I've gotten hung up on trying to offend more people.
That's right. Well, we all have goals.
And that's why I'm here.
That's right.
Let's go, Brandon.
With an attitude on loan from down below. Anyway, so now, first of all, our new movie started on Wednesday, The Clifford the Big Red Dog, and but you've had a couple other movies that have been going for.
Guess who John Cleese plays in this movie?
Let's talk about Clifford a little more. I give up. Who does he play?
He plays Mr. Birdwell.
Birdwell.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Birdwell.
And are we going anywhere with this?
Guess who wrote? Are you familiar with the Clifford the Big Red Dog books?
I know that they exist. I have not read any.
Okay. Or you have not read any of them to your children?
My children are 40. Those books haven't been around that long.
They've been around for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I found out about those books with my grandkids.
Okay.
And no, I didn't read them either.
Okay. Well, anyway, there's a huge series.
I had them listen to the news on the radio, and that was all they needed.
Oh, no, you are a mean grandpa.
I am.
Anyway, there's a long series of books about Clifford, and hence, the popularity of the books has led to this movie, which I expect to be very popular as well.
Yeah.
And the guy who wrote the books is named Birdwell.
Oh, okay. So that's where it comes from.
Yes.
And now for something completely different. So, as far as when it comes to some of these animated live-action movies, I mean, there's a heck of a lot of technology that goes into it. Do we have any idea, pray tell, how much money was spent in putting this movie together?
No, oddly enough.
I turn to you for answers, and what do I get?
Yeah, well, it's COVID related.
What's the cost?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about your fogginess.
No, that's natural. I earned it.
Craig's over
He
here.
doesn't even
Can I
have
just
to
go
be
home?
vaccinated for that one.
With and this has been ongoing here for the last year and a half. It's becoming increasingly difficult to pin down what the budgets are for movies. There are a couple of them that are out this week. I couldn't figure out how much they spent to make them.
Pretty
and
amazing.
this is one of them.
Pretty amazing though when you get the.
But they have brought in $3 million already.
Wow, and just since Wednesday.
Yeah.
That you know I haven't made that much yet this week, so you know.
Well, okay. Yeah. Put things in perspective.
But it's still early on a Friday. You know, the bottom line though is when it comes to some of these.
Try selling kisses.
Yeah. That's going to put me over the top real quick, I'm sure. At least with my dog, anyway. But as far as
Good, respectable work, and it's enjoyable.
okay,
Hi,
I feel like we need video to back this up or something.
We do.
It ain't gonna happen on this project. Anyway, when it comes to movies where they're doing this live animation, integrating it into live video and everything, it's really pretty astounding how believable they can make that stuff
Yeah,
look.
it's come a long way.
And especially if you're talking about a big red dog that gets bigger every, you know, I mean, that's kind of.
Well, you know the ones they did, you know, Jungle Book that way, or Jungle Book, and even that last Lion King was, you know, some of the animals and stuff in it looked just so real. They've really got this technology down.
I don't know.
And if you go back to Who Killed Roger Rabbit, it's the
That was
first.
sort of the first one.
Yeah, first one I'm aware of in any case, where you
I
had
think they did
live.
Cool World. I think it was before that with
Cool World? That was
with
terrible.
Brad, but it was mixed. That was
Yeah.
with Brad Pitt. That was kind of
Okay. It's a bad movie though. Anyway, back into that era, the advances are clear and dramatic.
Truly. I'm still freaked out from the flying monkeys and the Wizard of Oz, but that's, you know, they freaked me out as a kid. And judging
Me
from the
too.
look on your
Oh,
face,
yeah.
I hate you too.
hate those things.
So now you've had a couple of the movies that have started just in the last couple of weeks. We had one that
Yeah.
started last week.
Yeah, what do we have last?
Antlers.
Was it Antlers?
Antlers.
Antlers was the week before.
Okay.
And
Did we have one start last week?
Eternals.
Eternals.
Oh, yeah. How's that been doing?
Eternals did great.
That's a Marvel thing,
Marvel
right?
thing, yeah.
It's
Another
marvelous.
one started 80 million, I think, for its first weekend.
80 million in a weekend?
Yeah, these, you know, we're seeing is numbers are still kind of down with since 2020, but some of these big Marvel films are producing numbers, especially in that first weekend.
I think it would be fascinating to be on the set on some of these because there's so much done in front of green screens now and everything, and figuring out how to make all of those special effects. I find that fascinating. It would be a little different than an old John Wayne movie where you're up in Monument Valley and all of that. But I think it'd be cool.
They put him in a suit now. And it's got these little
Right.
sensors on it, so like
You can track all the movement.
yeah, so like Planet of the Apes or some of the Lord of the Rings, there was actually a person inside those, those apes, doing all the acting and stuff. Then they went in after and put like a CGI shell over the top of them, and it's
Right.
It's pretty good.
Very cool.
It's pretty seamless. It looks good.
Amazing technology that way. Now the week before that movie came out, we had another one.
You're just rushing by these movies and not taking time to delve into the intricacies of the movie experience.
This is like a good date. Let's just get to the business. Anyway,
You better be careful.
Yeah, really.
that could go wrong real quick.
It sure could. But this is one of the few big blockbuster, big budget movies. This is $200 million budget on this
Wow,
one.
that is big.
Yeah, no, they're not profitable yet. 175 million.
So they're
They're not even halfway yet. But the delectable Gemma Chan has the starring role in this movie, and very rarely do we find a Briton of Asian extraction starring in having the leading role in a $200 million movie.
Also, equally unusual is you referring to anyone as delectable.
That's not unusual.
Okay.
He does that way too much.
It's a tasty movie. But and we know her from other movies as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what would
sure.
you-
I mean,
what would
some
some of those-
movie guys do?
What would some of those other movies be? I'm trying to place the name.
I know that you watched the television, and
I did.
there was a television show on a series called Humans, where she played a blue-eyed android.
Yeah, that's really just speaking to me. I'm not. I think I missed that one somehow. What other movies has she been in that people are familiar with? I mean, I don't
Mary
know.
Queen I think it's called Mary Queen of
Oh,
Scots.
Mary Queen.
Oh, with all the funky makeup and everything in that movie, yeah.
Ah.
They did a pretty powdered job on a lot of the
Was
makeup.
she the obligatory
Yeah, she was the
Asian chambermaid or something?
No, she was the lady in waiting to
Yes.
Mary Queen of Scots as a Chinese lady.
Yeah, which, we just have to be so politically correct that we're just gonna plunk an Asian into a Mary Queen of Scots handmaiden role. That's gonna be super believable.
Yeah.
It's like the movie we were talking about, my husband and I were talking about last night, where they just decided they were gonna have a tranny in, a transsexual. And my husband said, it would be as if I were made up and was filmed, because it was that icky. And these politically correct things, they do it so that it satisfies the Holly weirdos, but we audience folks are going, what? Why is there an Asian woman as a courtier to marry Queen of Scots?
Well, and a very good question.
I
mean,
don't believe Scotland had too many Asians at that era.
Yeah, this whole woke thing is getting way out of hand.
Well, and fortunately, in that aspect, they were punished at the box office.
Yeah,
Right.
it tanked.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, if it
Actual people have to pay actual money in order for a movie to be successful.
well, but they want it to be an actual movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of
Actual entertainment,
yeah.
and perhaps take you away. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Old fashioned.
So, all right. So now, with Andy's permission, I'd like to go back yet another week to another movie, unless you have more that you'd like to say about that one.
Well, not at this time, Your Honor.
However, I'll defer till whatever.
It was all self-defense.
All right. So, what was the week before?
Last Night in Soho and Antlers.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Now, first of all, how are they doing?
But both pretty terrible.
Really?
Soho is gone. Yeah, did a 2-week run
And that was it.
and looked like an interesting film and just really never got any traction. Again, we talked about that a little bit last week. People don't want sequels; they want to see something original, and that's part of why you don't see a lot of original stuff in Hollywood, because you get something out there that's different, a kind of unique film that you haven't seen before, and people just don't seem to have the interest in it.
Yeah, and speaking of,
And it was really a cool movie.
really,
Yeah, I mean, it's a time travel murder mystery horror.
oh, another one of those.
No, you'd never seen one of those.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever heard of that combination before.
Yeah,
Wow.
and people just, I guess they were confused. But a great little movie, in my opinion. Not a big blockbuster, but very, very good acting from the two female leads. Very nice.
And what we're seeing too is with theater numbers still kind of compressed. The studios aren't putting as much into marketing.
Right.
So a film.
Well,
like,
you got to get the people to want to go to that movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you have a film like Last Night in Soho that's no one knows what it is, and they're not getting a lot of marketing out there in front of it, so people don't know what they're looking at.
Right. Now, what about the other? As far as
Antlers was just if you like horror films, it's just kind of so just call it a generic horror film. With a couple monsters in there. I mean, if you like that sort of thing, I mean, it was creepy.
And there are some
kinda-
people that I know. My daughter loves a good horror movie.
Yeah.
I'm not even remotely intrigued with those myself, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to see that one? By chance?
No.
No. Did
No, I'm gonna go see Clifford the Big Red Dog instead.
Oh, cool. Is that in 3D?
No.
Okay.
No. And we do you know what, we do
Carrie Russell is in this though, in Antlers.
Really?
And you'll remember her from the TV show Felicity.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
yes,
I think I did see those commercials.
yes.
and,
I don't watch too many TV shows either.
I hate to drag us back to Eternals, but 3:45 today it starts in 3D.
Ah.
So yeah,
Ooh.
it's a 12:30 to 3:45 in 3D.
Have you
and
seen
it's,
it yet in 3D
I
yourself?
have not. This is the first day we're doing it in
Because
3D.
it seems like some of these, high-tech movies, when they do the 3D, I mean, it's really, I absolutely love it.
Yes.
And sadly, my wife, I think she'd like it more when we went and saw Avatar for the first time. We got there late, and the only seats were the front row, and we watched that in 3D, staring up, and it was making my wife nauseous, I think. But
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I was like a kid in a candy store, man. Take me on I want more
We gotta
blue
go see
women with long
Dune
tails.
in 3D.
Oh, too late.
Oh.
Too late. That's done.
Too late. Yeah,
What?
it's done. It's gone. Well, it's still in 2D, but yeah,
Oh.
no 3D anymore.
Oh,
I
it
still
was
think
so
even in
good.
2D though, just to see it on the big
It was
screen as
so
opposed to
good.
waiting for it to come out on TV.
Yeah.
Um,
It's great.
yeah.
It's really good.
I've heard a lot of good things about
Yeah.
that, and as we've talked before, I wasn't necessarily a big fan of the first one, although to begin with, a lot of other people weren't really either. But the book itself that it's all comes from,
book
that
is
goes back
good.
to the 60s, I think.
1965.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And
interesting.
if you want to see that too, we're going to be flipping everything here pretty quick. We do have we're coming into Thanksgiving.
Right?
So actually starting next Thursday, we'll be open for the next 14 days in a row.
Oh wow,
For that Thanksgiving break, we
that's
will be
starting
open.
to sound normal.
Yeah, we'll be open Tuesday, Wednesday that week.
Cool.
We've got Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters
Who
film,
are you gonna call?
and actually supposed to be very good.
Really?
A good sequel.
Good.
We've got King Richard coming out next Friday.
Oh.
The Venus and Serena Williams.
Ah,
with Will
okay.
Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
I am
that
too.
one.
Yeah.
And then now Thanksgiving, of course, Thanksgiving is on Thursday, so movies are coming out on Wednesday that week. So we've got Encanto and Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City.
And this is with an all new cast, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's kind of a prequel to the other ones, kind of before all these. They've done 4 or 5 Resident Evils, but this one goes back and actually seems to be a little more true to the video game.
Right.
It doesn't look bad.
Well, one of the things, when you mentioned Ghostbusters, the latest iteration of that, the original on that came out, God, has that been like,
83, 84.
it's been like
somewhere
40
in
years
there.
ago, right?
Yeah.
And even then, I thought at that time, some of the special effects that were used were pretty, out there, cutting edge, stuff that I was pretty impressed with. But man, over the last 40 years, the special effects that they're going to be able to throw at this, that ought to be
Yes.
pretty fun.
And we're going to do that one Thursday night. Starting next Thursday instead of Friday, we're going to do a 7:15 showing.
Very cool.
Yeah, advanced screening on it. So
Very
if you
neat.
want to get out and see it early, you can see it next Thursday night.
And that's to me, that's a well, I was going to say a fun horror movie. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's
Oh,
supposed to
that's-
have, scary aspects to it, but it's all funny.
It's
Yes.
it's zany.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
good word usage there. Zany.
Zany. Haven't used that in a couple of decades.
Yeah. Horror comedy. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely leaning towards comedy though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And I saw the trailer on this, and guess who has a cameo?
Lawrence Welk?
No, Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd, wow.
Richard from the original.
Yeah, really. Well, and he's going to be playing some ancient sage or something?
I'm not going to give it away.
Okay. Dan Aykroyd.
And by the way, hello to Illinois Cliff.
Yeah.
Yes,
Illinois
hello,
Cliff, who we
sir.
say hi to
Yes.
on the show here routinely, actually was in Payson, or is in Payson today, and came by the station this morning. We had a nice visit. It was nice to see him.
Yippee.
Good to actually, put a face to some of the people that we talk about on the radio. And of course, for him, it was probably terrifying to actually put a face with some of the people he listens to on the radio. But, that's another issue for him.
I think he was starstruck.
Yeah. Or nauseous. We can't tell for sure which. But at any rate, it was nice to see him. Now, as far as the holidays go,
Well, what about Ron?
Ron's gone wrong.
oh, Ron's gone wrong.
Got one more there. Yeah.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's done okay.
Yeah.
Kind of another Disney film, Disney animated kids film.
right?
You know, and again, maybe,
It sounds like a movie that's got morals to it.
well, you know, it's just, well, it's kind of more of a modern take. Kid gets a little companion robot,
Right.
And it's kind of broken. That's Ron. Ron's gone wrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Something
I
like crap
think,
with
you know,
Ron.
got great reviews,
Uh-huh.
but you know, as far as a Disney animated film, it underperformed, I think.
And they spent some serious money on those.
You know, I think this one was probably a little bit lower budget, but you know, I'm sure 80 million anyway. I know.
Yeah,
That's Hollywood. You say 80 million only.
yeah. Quite a discount.
That's yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we also have tomorrow.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
That's right.
Yes.
The isn't that the Republican Party behind this?
Republican, yeah, free showing
Free.
of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, what's it,
Sponsored by
9:30?
Red Country Republicans.
Gotta
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
a 9:30 start
9:30,
time.
not
It-
10 o'clock.
Yeah, because that's what is that, about a
Yeah.
3-hour movie?
Yeah, it's 2 hours and 57 minutes.
Oh,
or something.
call me a liar.
Yeah, no, it's a long one.
I have I've seen the movie in the theater, and I've seen it on TV probably 3-4 times, something like that. Every time I see it come around, it's like I gotta watch it again. That's a great one.
Oh, just and hard to watch too. It is a
Well, and our friend here from Illinois that was here this morning
Cliff.
when asked about that, not to be confused with Clifford the Big Red Dog, but when asked about that, he uttered the key words from the very end. You know, they're what was not "Am I Worth It?" but it was something like that at the very end. That he brought up this morning took me right back to the closing scenes of that movie. But it seems like everybody just about has seen that movie once and probably needs to see it again
It's
tomorrow.
Steven Spielberg, you know,
Yeah,
and he's
wonderful movie.
Has he done anything lately?
You know,
Does
yeah,
stuff
he's
all
got
the time.
December 12th, West Side Story,
They're redoing West Side Story, and it's
done by Steven Spielberg.
it's still a musical and all of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're depraved because we're deprived.
Yeah.
That's right. G. Officer Krupke.
What
I'm
they
down
said.
on my knees because no one likes a fellow with a social disease.
You remember
I know
some of the
all
great
the
lines.
lines.
I only remember lines from Monty Python. I didn't get West Side Story down. I guess I had to go back.
It's such a sad story too.
It's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a happy ending.
No.
I don't like movies without happy endings.
It's a killer movie.
Oh, wow.
The soul of sympathy.
We've been talking about this. Movies are supposed to move you, and
Yes.
it doesn't always have to be in a
Yeah.
positive way. I mean,
Right.
I guess we all want to feel happy, but
I was mentioning just before going on today that yesterday actually I watched a movie. And I know everyone
You
had to
stole my
excuse
heart.
themselves and run to the restroom real quick when I mentioned that and everything, but now that they're back, watched the movie Wonder yesterday, a story about a Augie that had a deformed face, and they did a really great job on that. I know that came out a few years ago, and I just am now finally seeing it for the first time, but I thought they did a really a great job of telling that story. And you know, there's some movies where I think sometimes I think maybe they're a little too focused on special effects and not enough on telling the story, but I thought they did a great job of telling the story on that. We need more of those kind of movies.
That's right. You know, according to the Sawmill Theater webpage, there's a James Bond movie still playing.
there is. There.
Wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more.
We haven't mentioned that.
And that one is probably going to be gone Thursday.
And how's that been?
No Time to Die.
Is that
Had a great run.
3 or 4 weeks here?
I think it's number 2 in the world right now. There's
Is it?
for the year.
For the year.
Yeah, there's a Chinese film that is number 1 that none of us have ever heard of. But
Between 600,000 and 700,000 or 700
Million.
million
Yeah.
for the James Bond movie.
And that other Chinese one was How to Screw Up on a Virus, right?
Whoa.
Anyway,
And by the way, of all the films that we have, it's the only one that is profitable.
wow.
Oh, geez.
So
And
I don't.
really profitable.
Has there
What about
ever been a
Dune?
James Bond
Dune?
movie that wasn't
Yeah.
profitable?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh no!
I was going to say, I mean,
Oh.
every one
Don't
of
be
those.
silly.
Yeah.
they're generally pretty. Yeah.
That's pretty. And there's been different people directing those over the years. And everything. I mean, the James Bond thing's been going on for a long time. It's quite an
50
interesting,
years.
quite an interesting dynasty when it comes to, and to think that every one of those has been a big success.
Yeah.
That there's got to be some interesting
It seems
grades
like
there.
God, I'd have to look that one up. Seems like there had to been
No, I don't think so.
one that
No.
Gold
there's 27 of them or 26, 27 films. There have been a couple of bad ones in there, it seems, but
Well,
maybe not.
That
And
we're
it's made the fortune of the broccoli family.
Yes, Albert Broccoli, Yeah.
Yeah, broccoli maybe.
Broccoli, yeah, that's right.
It's spelled
They
broccoli.
they were the producers right back. at the
And
beginning.
still are.
Yes,
and of
Can
course
you
his kids, the Brocolettes. And,
Yeah, for 50 years, that
Yeah.
family has controlled the James Bond franchise.
Yeah.
well, they're doing something right. I mean,
Oh,
needless to
yeah.
say. I
Well,
mean,
people like the movies.
Yeah.
yeah.
Even this one, you know, and
Yeah, it's a little, yeah. I don't know.
Wow, hold it.
Not my fave, not
Okay.
my fave.
Why?
It was kind of mushy.
I'm kind of mushy. Do you not like me?
No, I love you.
Okay. I feel better
big
about
teddy
it.
bear
That's right.
It just didn't,
didn't snap.
I'm not crazy about Daniel Craig as James
Really?
Bond. He's just too,
Well, he's gone.
Well, I know.
That was his last
you
one,
know,
right?
Yeah, I mean, he's really gone. But angst, he's just full of angst. And James Bond was never full of angst. He was urbane and suave.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
come
Give me a
on.
darn dictionary here.
Never a
Okay.
second thought about
No.
drilling some bad actor right in the noggin.
Yeah, or drilling some beautiful woman.
Oh!
Sorry.
Kind of guessing that wouldn't be in the novel.
I don't know.
Okay, so before we
Rein
get
me
done
in,
here on the
rein me
radio,
in.
Getting back to Tina's Gone Wrong.
notice how their microphones
Sorry. Well, no, but I mean, if you read the books,
Yeah, there you
which
go.
I have.
Real quick, because we're almost out of time on the radio, we're going to be talking another half hour on Facebook Live, but while we still have you on the radio, as we go into the holidays, there's always, big movies that come in during the holidays because people are off from school and family in from out of town and all that kind of thing. What are some of the biggies that are coming up in the next 2 months?
Well, Ghostbusters, next
Right.
week is going to be a big one. Then we go into Christmas. There's a new Spider-Man film, and a new Matrix film.
Ooh, Matrix.
Matrix 4
And it
and
has Keanu
Keanu Reeves.
and Carrie Moss.
Yes.
Cool.
Both in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh,
Oh God, he just
That guy.
The
Yeah.
the black guy that was
Lawrence
in it.
Fishburne.
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 No,
No, he's not.
no, he is not in it.
right.
Oh.
What about the guy who plays the?
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
You know who I mean.
I'm
I
not
can't
sure.
remember
Yeah,
his
I'm
name,
not sure
but
on
he's
that one.
very good.
It looks kind of it looks interesting. We'll have to see.
That's always been. I mean, I've seen a couple of those. This is the third or fourth.
Fourth.
Is Michael Pena in that? He was in the first one, and he was really good.
Yeah, he was like a pilot, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a
the-
traitor.
Oh,
Yeah, in the first one,
was that Michael Pena?
I believe it was.
Yeah.
It's getting old, ain't for sissies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's always a lot of good stuff
That was
going on at the
First one
Summit.
came out in 1998.
I know.
Any other biggies that are coming up over the holidays?
Yeah, well, West Side Story.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the West Side Story is probably gonna be a fairly big one. We got Sing 2, an animated kids one for
Right.
the kind of American Idol with animation.
Who's
There you go.
starring in West Side Story? Do we know?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actors mostly.
Yeah, we're gonna.
But I want. Is there gonna be Fabulous Dance the way there was in the first one? Because the first one is like.
And I think that's a dangerous area because sometimes when you get a movie, I mean, West Side Story, that's been a really iconic piece of work for many decades.
Yeah.
And using the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, and choreography by Jerome Kern, he choreographed for the New York City Ballet. I mean, he's an icon
It's a real deal.
amongst us dancephiles.
Right.
Yeah.
We do have House of Gucci coming out.
House
It
of
comes out
Gucci.
around Thanksgiving. We're not gonna have space for it, but we will get it December 3rd or December 10th.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh,
That's
is
the
that going to
story
be
of-
like the story of Prada?
Well, the
Yeah,
family, the Gucci family,
Oh,
that came up, but it's
awesome.
Lady Gaga's in there, Adam Driver,
Lady Gaga?
Robert De Niro.
I'm guessing she won't be wearing the raw meat outfit on that show.
No,
No.
well, no. But no, it's packed with big name celebrities in here and stuff, and it's one of those that
Oh,
probably have some Academy Award buzz to
the
it.
fashion house.
All right. Now we got to
I'm a fan of
get off the
Lady
radio
Gaga
here,
these days.
but you can continue on listening to us talk about all this wonderful stuff by just going on to Facebook Live. Look for KRM FM, and you'll find us right there. In the meantime, we're going to get you back to more of your favorite music. Have a lot of different tunes to get to here from. Let's see. Coming up, we're going to hear from Jim Croce, Pink Floyd, The Fix, Alice in Chains, and a whole bunch more. But first,
How about Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys?
was it Kinky Friedman?
What? Texas
right.
Jew voice.
The
I'll,
Texas Jew voice, that's right.
I'll see if I can.
It's kind of hippie and Western music. You'll like it.
Is that what you'd call it?
Or Lyle Lovett. Give me Lyle Lovett any day of the week.
Or for that matter, right now, let's just get back to the Commodores. With
The Commodores?
We'll dedicate this one to Tina.
Followed by
Thanks
the
for listening to
Admirals.
Community Radio 96.3
Oh,
FM
the
Kingman.
Temptations.
Wait, guys, I gotta go, guys.
What?
I gotta go.
All right, see you tomorrow.
All right, so we
Okay, scoot over so they can see.
Take
you.
care. We'll see you guys.
thanks.
Have a good one.
So
Grab any kind of one you want.
just have one.
This is a low chair. I don't like this chair.
So I want to talk for just a second again about wonder, but only from the standpoint of, again, as I was mentioning before we went on the air today, that it brought me back to a kid that I went through grade school with that had some deformities, and just it was heartbreaking to watch all the stuff that he went through.
Now they can see me better.
When it comes to, yeah, right up close and personal. When it comes to movies, and one that really hits you emotionally in the gut, what's the first movie that comes to mind?
Well, Chinatown has always been, I mean,
Chinatown.
honestly, if you think about that whole story in the end, and, you know,
Three Faces of Eve.
that's,
Ooh.
yeah.
That's interesting.
The one with Betty Davis, All About Eve.
All about Eve.
The end of
Wow.
that is really a killer, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I don't know. There's movies can. It's neat how they can entertain us and they can move us. And yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of movies that have moved me lately.
Well, it's like Craig was saying, it doesn't have to, in order to be art, it doesn't have to move you to make you happy.
Right.
Right.
It can move you to make you sad.
Right. Sure.
You know, like West Side Story.
And exactly
Oh,
my point with the
God, yeah.
with the movie Wonder. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
That's not a. Well, I mean, it has a great ending to it that is a bit uplifting. But I mean, throughout the whole thing,
I
it's
thought it was
pretty
quite
true.
uplifting.
Yeah, but I mean, throughout much of the movie, it's far less than uplifting. It's nice to
Well,
get that
there's
little reprieve at the end.
another one kind of like that with Cher called Mask.
Yeah,
That was that, you know, true story
Right.
of that kid, and you know, and at the end, he lies down and checks out.
Right.
So yeah.
and actually the kid that starred in that wasn't makeup. That was I believe truly him, was it not?
No, the real kid looked like that, but the kid who starred in it was Eric Stoltz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
yeah.
That's a heck of a makeup job.
Oh man, it was amazing. And Cher
Movie
was
magic.
Yeah.
fabulous. I mean, she really has done some great movies.
She is she knows how to work a camera.
Yep. You know,
From in front.
Moonstruck is still one of my favorite movies.
Witches of Eastwick.
Yes, Witches of Eastwick. Yes, with Bette Midler, and who else?
Cher.
And Cher. Yeah, there were three though.
Oh,
That's right.
Who's the other one?
She was also in.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The other one was also in a that movie with the singing nun. That name that
No.
yeah
Oh,
yeah
I think it was
she's kind of a
Susan
heavy set
Sarandon,
gal.
wasn't
huh?
Kind of a heavy set
it?
gal.
No. Susan Sarandon, I think.
Maybe it
Was
was.
the third one.
Maybe it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Anyway, since it's Veterans Week this week,
Yes.
we thought we might talk about movies that are good to watch during Veterans Week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And of course
And I have made a list.
and of course tomorrow the best one Saving Private Ryan at 9:30 at the Sawmill Theater, and you get in for free.
That's right. We would encourage people though to buy their morning popcorn just as a thank you to the theater.
That makes
Yes.
sense. Yeah.
Yes. And I will be singing.
Ah, I heard that you're going to be doing all 12 days of the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yeah, right.
No, actually, and you have a good voice. You'll be perfect. for
Thank
this.
you.
You'll be doing America.
We'll see. It's
Yeah.
still early. I might be a little, congested.
Yeah, just get up early and drink more coffee.
Yeah,
Coffee.
That's right.
I was up at 5 this morning. actually.
Oh, and you trying to make me say, oh wow, that's
oh,
early?
I know you're up at 3 and 2, or
Yeah, I'm also.
you never sleep.
I'm also
or-
no. I'm very much asleep by like 7:30 at night. I become even more profoundly boring than usual.
Yeah.
All right. So what are some of the
That's
other?
a Steven Spielberg movie,
Yes.
Saving Private Ryan,
Yes.
starring Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Right.
And this is a quiz for you, and I'm sure you will know this. What more recent Steven Spielberg movie starred Tom Hanks?
No, it wasn't Castaway. No clue.
I can't think of the name of it.
Never ask a question you don't have the answer
I know.
to.
I'd make a bad lawyer, wouldn't I? Yeah, it's the one about getting our flyer out of East German hands. The guy that was captured flying the U-2.
Oh, right.
Oh, Gary Powers.
A bridge, yeah.
A bridge too far?
Not a bridge too far, but some kind of a bridge.
And it wasn't over the River Kwai.
No, not that one.
And it wasn't dental.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, that was a
And it wasn't Lloyd either.
that was a Spielberg movie too with Tom Hanks, and
Yeah.
another great movie.
Yeah.
But one of the ones that I think is memorable, certainly to me, is Hurt Locker.
I'd
Ooh.
written that down.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What-
It's almost impossible for me to watch it. It's scary. I mean, really, I have a hard time.
Yeah,
with
it's about a American soldier who disarms improvised explosive devices in Iraq during the fracas there.
that. Right.
Really intense movie. When I reviewed it, I said that it's perhaps the greatest war movie of all time. Including such classics as All Quiet on the Western Front, better because of the intensity of the thing.
When I think of intense, military movies, Hamburger Hill comes to mind, and I think that there's. I don't know if that even won any awards necessarily, but it seemed like it brought. It kind of brought you to a feeling like this is what it would be like to be on the front lines, and just the horrific nature of that.
Put you right in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Really.
And there was
There's
another
a
one that came out about the same
great
time.
Gregory Peck movie about the Korean War, Pork Chop Hill.
Yes. Yeah.
Similar situation.
Hill and Meat, yeah.
But when you talk about
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to make
No,
fun of that. I mean,
no, really.
it's the way it is.
When one talks about veterans, you think of people who've come back from the war. One of the all-time classics, and we have a good friend named Dave who has retired. He's a retired police officer, and this is his all-time favorite movie. And if he's watching, hi Dave, I want to mention the best years of our lives.
Oh,
1946, William Wyler.
My year.
Yeah. What?
It's the year I was born.
No.
Yeah, 46.
I thought you were my age.
I was born in 1946.
Oh, so you're old.
Yeah.
film at 11.
No,
Older than you, so you listen.
Yeah, that's right. He'll put you over his knee and. Anyway.
Okay, boomer. No, it's a poignant, really very emotional. The dialogue is great. The directing is great. It's about these guys who came home from World War II.
3 guys.
Yes, and tried to reintegrate into, here you are. I mean, back in the States, one of them lost, I think, both hands, right?
I don't remember.
He has hooks, and this was played by a guy who really did lose
Right.
his hands. And it's a very thought-provoking and very important movie, I think, for people to understand what these guys went through and how they are trying to come back to an ordinary existence.
Yeah.
It's really
It turns out that when you're away from home for 2 years, the people that you left at home their lives have gone on.
Yeah.
They've done things, they've experienced things,
right.
they have, they're 2 years older. It's
And meanwhile, you've gone through some horrific stuff, and trying to have anyone
Yeah.
understand what you've just been through is impossible.
No, my dad was gone for 4 years.
Wow.
He was in the European theater. He was at the Battle of the Bulge.
Wow.
He was a battalion tank commander at the Battle of the Bulge.
whoa.
Yeah, dude.
One of the first books.
4 years. I mean,
Right.
he married my mother before he left in order to, God forbid, if he passed away, that she would get benefits from being a widow. But I mean, 4 years is a long time to be gone.
Oh man.
Yeah.
One of the first books I ever read was titled "Give Us This Day," and it was a novel about the Bataan Death March over in the Philippines
Yep.
during the Second World War,
Yep.
and it was written by a guy who
Hometown book guys?
yeah, there you go. No, but there have been movies done about this the Bataan Death March.
Oh, okay.
So I just don't remember the names of those. But
Did you just have like an old age hiccup or something?
Yeah.
No, but he's talking about books on the movie show.
Oh,
I-
books.
I'm going to talk about
Yeah.
comic books here in a minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that there's been other movies made about the Bataan Death March,
Yeah.
but it's until I went over to the Philippines and realized what 90 degrees, 90% humidity,
Oh.
and mosquitoes with malaria and dengue fever
Yeah.
and this, that, and the other. I mean, if you had to go traipsing through the woods or the jungle there in those kind of really nasty conditions, man,
And a
I-
forced march.
I think-
mean, you're
yeah.
not on safari. with
no, and you
You
fall
know,
down, they're just going to off you.
Comforts of home.
Yeah. But it's I don't know, just it to me. I thought about that a lot over there, and that man, this would be it'd be a horrible place to have to go through that kind of thing.
When I was a kid, we moved to Singapore in 1954, and if you think about it,
King Rat.
It was the King Rat
Movie and book.
and
there you
book, and James Clavell, whom I was honored to meet, had been in prison in Changi Prison. But I knew guys who had survived the Bataan Death March. I mean, I was only a kid. I was 7, 8 years old, but. I'll tell you, these guys are so different. I'm sorry to the millennials. I'm sorry to the 19-year-olds. But I mean, when they need crying rooms at college, at their age, our guys were fighting, saving the world for freedom.
Well, and then you go, going back to yesterday being Veterans Day, and some of the folks at the local Veterans Tribute here, it's you start thinking, at least I do anyway, start thinking about the folks that served in Vietnam, and what I think the technical term is really crappy, reception they got when they came back home.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed with some of these folks that have still made it their mission to give back, to society, even though society really pretty much crapped on them.
It did. It was terrible.
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah.
And when you go and you have to live through such horrific things where you're watching, your comrades in arms dropping next to you and everything, and then you come back and the people that you were fighting for don't appreciate what you went through. It's
And you have
blame it all on the politicians.
Jane Fonda,
Yeah.
who literally caused people to die.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a horrible traitor, and has never been called to task for that. And one of the great movies of the Vietnam War, which is a Joseph Conrad book, The Heart of Darkness, translated by Scorsese into a movie, was Apocalypse Now, and that was about the Vietnam War with Marlon Brando.
That was an interesting movie.
Oh man, what a movie!
Love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, Robert. What's his name?
Not Duvall.
Yes,
Yes,
Duvall.
Duvall,
Yeah. Godfather.
That's right.
Yeah.
Could have
But
been a contender.
Martin Sheen. That's a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Forgot about that. That's a great.
Yeah, that is a big one. Another Robert Duvall movie is. It'll come to me. The Great Santini,
Oh, that's a wonderful movie.
and it's in peacetime, but he's a
Yes, he's a vet.
he's a pilot,
Yeah.
and it's just it's a wonderful movie, and Duvall's just a tremendously
He
good
is.
actor.
Yeah.
And if you like movies about veterans of the French Foreign Legion, Robert Duvall in Lions, Secondhand Lions.
Secondhand Lions, yeah.
Another
Yeah.
wonderful movie,
Great movie.
about two veterans, but not veterans of the American Army,
Right.
veterans of the French
Right.
Foreign Legion, but
Right.
another great Robert Duvall movie.
And now we can take something completely different. How about Dr. Strangelove? That's a war movie.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an apocalyptic end of the world war movie.
Right.
Yeah.
What about Star Wars?
Yeah.
Just being facetious.
Well, yeah.
But you know that war does tend to that good versus evil thing does tend to be a good theme for just about any movie.
Well, if one has Netflix, which I have to confess I do, there is a series on there, and I think I've talked about it before. It's called Fauda, Fauda. It's Israeli, and it was sourced, designed, produced, and starred in by a guy named Lor Riaz, who was a special forces Israeli guy, a very unlikely leading man, but absolutely riveting. This is an intelligent, thought-provoking, thoughtful, and definitely about war.
Huh.
Because it's about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and it's a series. I'm eagerly awaiting series number 4, right? You know,
Year 4.
season 4,
Season 4,
right?
there we
Season
go.
4. But we just finished watching again. I mean, for the second time, 1 through 3. It's such a good series.
Well, and when it comes to war movies, I'm going to go back a few centuries here, and get away just for a second from the American military. But and I know that where we are, got people waving to a student window here. Anyway, he's from next door. Hello, back on track here. The movie that I know that I've heard that they took some creative license.
Hi, Robert.
And kind of changed things around a little bit, and it wasn't necessarily all based strictly on fact. But Braveheart has been a favorite movie of mine for
William Wallace, a real character.
Yeah,
in
true
history.
story. I mean, they took
Yeah.
some creative license there,
Right.
but still.
Right.
And when you look back at what war was like back when we were fighting it with
Oh,
blades,
God.
I mean, holy mackerel.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, what are you talking about?
They're all cut-ups.
And the
You
movie.
go out there, you get a little cut, it heals up in the sun.
Ah,
No
sure.
worries about
Little
it.
scab over.
Really, it's like the Black Knight. It was just a scratch. But the movie that stars the same young man who's in Dune, who's very good, Timothy Chalamet.
Not a Frenchman, a New Yorker.
Yeah, but his name is spelled all Frenchy.
It's a technical term we sometimes use here.
Yeah, right. I know.
Henry.
He plays the king, who was Henry V,
Right.
and there's a lot of truth in the story, and that war movie has also been directed and starred in by Kenneth Branagh.
Oh.
Which was a Shakespeare play, Henry V.
Don't get enough Shakespeare.
Well, brush up your Shakespeare. Start quoting him now. Brush up your Shakespeare and the women you will wow. Start quoting Othello and they'll think you're a hell of a fella. Brush up your Shakespeare and they're all kowtow.
To be with Tina in the studio or not to be with Tina in the studio, that is the question.
What was in that dinner last night, honey?
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah.
Good stuff,
No, but it's neat how some of the movies that we've talked about here.
Well, what about The Patriot?
Oh,
Yeah.
You're gonna bring in
There's a war. Yeah.
William Wallace. You
Yeah.
gotta bring in The Patriot.
And that was a really well produced movie.
And that was our war.
Yes.
Not the.
Yes.
I mean, nothing against the Scots because
Yeah, the
that's
Scots.
McKinney. That's
Right.
Yeah.
But we were kicking a little British butt.
Yeah. And also in The Patriot.
Right. The Patriot
For
was
Brits.
The Patriot was a great movie. I like some of the scenes there at Niagara Falls. That was rather epic. But yeah, a heck of a story. And
Yeah. And then Band of Brothers.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that's another big
And
one.
that's a Clint Eastwood, I believe,
Nope,
isn't it?
Spielberg again,
Oh,
and
that's
Tom
Spielberg
Hanks.
and Tom Hanks again.
Again.
Again, okay.
Spielberg and Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
For my money, absolutely the best series done on World War II.
Mhm.
Just wonderful, wonderful in every aspect of it, and it's because of Spielberg.
Mhm.
And I don't know that you've seen it.
I don't know. That was a deal on TV that was over the course of a.
Yeah, it's about
Mhm.
12 episodes.
Yeah, I've seen some of it.
Yeah. Well, there's one episode. It's about episode 2 or 3, I think, where it's about paratroopers, American paratroopers, and they're in the Normandy invasion. They paratroop in, and they have to clean out a series of trenches, and there are German artillery in there, and that episode, the true life episode, is to this day is taught in American military schools as the proper way to do that particular exercise.
Wow.
And they were very, very, I think, exacting in when they made the film to make sure that they did everything completely right the way it actually happened, and it shows why they're so successful. And the whole thing is full of typical Spielberg attention to detail, and great. It just
Truly gifted, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
And there's heartbreaking stuff in there too.
Right.
The when they bring the paratroopers back to England to their base after their role in the Normandy invasion is over, after a while.
Right.
And there's one scene where one of the paratroopers is taking his laundry into the local laundress in England,
Mhm.
get his uniform pressed and all made up nice. And the laundry lady says, "Oh, by the way, Private Baines hasn't been in to pick up his laundry. Could you take it to him?"
Hmm.
And the guy says, "Yes, ma'am, I will." And then she says, "Oh," and then there's Corporal Rudninsky. "Oh, and Lieutenant Summers," and on and on.
These are all people that had passed.
Yeah, and people that didn't make it back from Normandy.
Hmm.
And that was a heartbreaking moment there, and just kind of genius in the way Spielberg framed it. That made it very immediate and very human.
You know,
Really, really well done.
I think perhaps some of the greatest success that has come out of some of those movies is giving those of us who never served in the military in real conflict a bit of a glimpse of the nightmare that would be, and the fact that we have so many that have served overseas and have experienced that, yet come home and just choose not to talk about it, and they just suck it up and try to go on with life. We owe an awful lot to those people, and there's a lot of them that have a lot of demons that they deal with on a regular basis. And I don't know, I think we would all be well served to just be able to be a little more understanding of some of that.
Well, there's two I'll mention quickly. One is called Saints and Soldiers, which is about the true massacre that the Germans did to American soldiers at Malmedy, which was in France. They came upon this company and they ended up killing them all. And my father was very moved by this because he was about 1.5 miles from there, and he could have been one of those guys.
Wow.
Right. And then the other one, I love this. It's a war movie, but it's snarky as heck, is Inglourious Bastards.
There you go.
I mean, that is a very satisfying movie. Yeah. And apparently there were guys who were Jewish who went over specifically to fight the Germans, American Jews, because they were so outraged at what was going on. So they just went over there, and they were They were
Fierce.
fierce. Yes, thank you. That was the word.
Motivated, right?
Motivated,
Yeah.
very motivated.
Hey, we're out of time. Again, you can always find out what's playing and when it's playing by going online to sawmilltheaters.net, and we'll be back in with you again next Friday.
Let's appreciate our veterans,
Yes.
folks.
Yeah.
Come
And go to
tomorrow.
the Sawmill Theater tomorrow morning, 9:30, and watch
9:30.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yay.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah.